Well, welcome back to another Media Firestorm case study where I get the honor and privilege of bringing one of our fabulous clients over to you so you can learn about her experience with Media Firestorm. My name is Angel Tussey. You can find us. We are the founders of the Need a Guest community. So if you are looking for opportunities to leverage the power of podcast interviews to grow your business, check us out over at needaguest.com. I have the honor and pleasure of bringing to you Xanet Pailet and talking about her journey with Media Firestorm. Xanet, how long ago did you enroll in Media Firestorm?
Maybe about a month and a half ago.
About a month and a half ago. All right, so we're about a month and a half in. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're coming from and tell our audience a little bit about your business and what you do.
Yeah. So I am a former healthcare lawyer turned sex and intimacy educator and coach. I've been doing that for 15 years. It happened because I was in a sexless marriage for 26 years and then did my own personal healing journey and decided just to transition my entire life and my entire career, which has been amazing. I am located in Asheville, North Carolina, and I, at the moment, primarily work with couples who are in sexless marriages or really having very serious intimacy and relationship issues. And I run intensive retreats over a 4-day period where we really get down into the weeds, if you will, and work through their specific issues in a very interactive, experiential way.
Wow, wow, what a huge transition. And I mean, I know that was your journey and your experience, but did you ever imagine that there would be such demand for this service?
No, not really. I mean, in retrospect, it's like, oh yeah, there's so many people living in sexless marriages. It's like incredibly common. But it was, when I was going through it, it wasn't something that was really spoken about. There weren't coaches, there were sex therapists, but this is like a whole different environment in the last, since I started in the last 15 years. It's really expanded, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so before enrolling in Media Firestorm, which really was not that long ago, what were you doing to grow your business? What were you doing for marketing? What was working for you?
Yeah, so I was in this weird situation where I didn't have to do very much. I basically just spent, $600-700 a month on Google ads. And those Google ads were basically filling my retreats, both my private retreats, and I also do international retreats as well. And they were doing great. I mean, I'd done this for like 3.5 years, 4 years. And it had been very, very successful for me. And I didn't really, I had a newsletter that went out once a week, and that was basically all that I really had to do. It was amazing. Life was great.
It was great. So if it was going so well, what made you want to implement another strategy?
Well, that strategy, like many other marketing strategies, started to not be very successful, like for reasons that nobody really can understand. Nobody on my marketing team understands it. Google changed their algorithm, AI, like who knows. But it just started being not that successful. And so while I still do Google advertising and I'm actually now really starting to track it, it's still hard to know really, how well the ads are actually doing in the visibility piece. I was like, well, this isn't good. I haven't booked clients in a couple of months. And now I'm looking at my calendar, which is usually booked out 6 months in advance, and it's not even booked out 2 months in advance. So I was kind of like in a crisis mode and, spinning my wheels, trying to figure out what was going on. And I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to do something.
And so how did you find us? How did we connect?
I actually don't even know the answer to that question, Angel. Like somehow an email of yours showed up in my inbox, which is weird because I didn't know anything about you guys, but it just kind of somehow the universe was like this. Um, Literally, that's what I remember. Maybe like an affiliate of yours who I'm on a list with. I don't know.
You don't know,
I
but
have
but it
no idea.
was the universe brought us together.
The universe brought us
And
together.
and so in the last month and a half, what strategies, what have you implemented or what have you learned from the Media Firestorm strategy? What have you implemented? What are you doing differently to grow your business?
Oh, so much. First of all, I'm working really hard. Which is both great, but also like I'm working really hard. I was I'd have been semi-retirement before. Um, but so I've been well, one of the things I learned, one of the great lessons I've learned from you and Jamie is like, in order for people to know that you're open, you actually have to let people that you're open 24 hours a day. And so as much resistance as I had to like actually starting to send out daily emails, I've actually implemented, and I don't send them out daily. I do like 5 a week. And
I
while
think that's fair, right?
I
Five
think
a
it's
week.
fair,
That's, yeah, for
5 a week,
sure.
right? And I take, and then, while I lost, maybe 100 people on my list, out of 3,000 active subscribers, everybody else has stayed, which has been, really amazing for me. And the open rate's still really good. And that's been helpful. I have a hard time tracking how much business has come in from that, but I know that people are much more aware of what I'm doing. And I think that's been useful, especially as I'm trying to fill some of my international retreats, because I can see they keep on opening the email
Yeah.
over and over and over again. I'm like, oh, you're somebody who's interested,
Yeah.
clearly. And I need to follow up with you, personally, or, just reach out. So I've been doing that. And I've also enjoyed like the creativity around it, like creatively writing different emails, writing story emails, talking more about my own personal relationship with my partner or whatever challenges I'm going through. So just being like more open and vulnerable. And I've enjoyed doing that. And, I'll be honest, like I work with ChatGPT. We have a very good working relationship. And my, clients and customers all feel like the emails are actually coming from me because it writes in my voice. Then I've obviously been applying for a lot of podcasts and recording podcasts. And love that. That's been probably, and that's really what I was more interested in when I found out about this. Like I was much more sold on the like book on, I think I'm doing 100 podcasts, book on 100 podcasts, right? Rather than like the daily emails, which is like, and that's been a ton of fun. I just enjoy meeting really interesting people. The podcast hosts are great. I've had a great response from my pitches, and they're getting better by the day. I start to have like some emails that go out. I'm like, oh, I like this. This seems to be working.
Right, we do. We get just a little bit better every
Yeah.
day. And so a couple of things, right? Number one, what you came to us for was getting booked on podcasts. That was the
Yes.
carrot, right? The exciting, shiny thing, which is working. You've been how many podcasts have you been booked on so far since enrolling? Do you know approximately?
Yeah, something like maybe 37 or
Oh my
38
gosh. Wow, right? Okay.
booked. I
So
haven't recorded them all,
not
but I have a
recorded,
lot.
right? Because it takes a minute,
Yeah.
and we really only want, we don't want this to overwhelm your life. 2 interviews a week, so over a month and a half, that would be 8 to 10. So if it worked out perfectly, it doesn't always scale
Mm.
up exactly, but 37 booked is quite exciting and exactly what you came for. The additional bonus is opening up your store, sending out those emails. And I know a lot of people worry about the unsubscribes, but they weren't going to buy anyways, right? It does highlight who your buyers are, your potential buyers, who the people that are interested in really working with you. And I would love for you to track, right, how many calls we're booking, right, and how many
Right.
people. And
I am
we can
tracking
talk
that
about
stuff.
we can talk about that. I love that. So did you have any doubts, in enrolling before you signed up with us? Were there any fears about enrolling in Media Firestorm?
Did it? When my book came out in 2018, I did a lot of podcasts, and I knew that I got a lot of really good, I got clients from it. I got good leads from it. So I knew that doing podcasts, it was something that would be, probably a good idea for me. And I have a new book coming out in March. So I already in my mind, when I found out about this, I was like, oh, well, this is a no-brainer. I've got a new book coming out in March, and I'm going to be doing this anyway. And this way I can develop relationships before the book comes out. My publisher was thrilled, like, oh, you're going to be doing all these podcasts and blah blah blah, right? And so it was just like, it was almost like, yeah, this makes total sense for me. I really didn't have any doubts about it. I think that for me, like one of the added benefits that I didn't expect was like the calls with Jamie, which have been really helpful, like reworking my lead like I've done a lot. I've redone my homepage. I've reworked my lead magnet. I've tried different lead magnets, like just really, trying and then tracking like, oh, this is what's getting people's attention, right? Like I've learned so many tools and tricks that I've been using in my, in my podcast that I've been doing and in my marketing. And that, I think has been really useful for me. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, those coaching sessions with Jamie are incredible, and he hosts them every other week. So twice a month, you get to plug into a coaching session with Jamie. He brings a lot of skill set when it comes to tracking, technology, sales, copywriting, and it's just bonus, right? That you guys get that access. So thanks for bringing that up because it is an added extra that a lot of our clients brag about and rave about those sessions. He'll test you for sure, right? And
Mhm.
a lot of times we're just doing things that we've always done, but if it's not getting the results we're looking for, and he's really good about making sure that we're focused in on the activities that
Yeah.
are bringing those results. What would you say, Janae, to somebody who's thinking about enrolling in Media Firestorm and they're kind of on the fence? Is there any advice or any tips you want to give them?
Yeah, I mean, I would just like use a Nike line, just do it. Like I think there's no downside to it as long as you're intentional, as long as you're focused, and as long as you're committed to it. I think it's a great program. I've talked to some other people about like, hey, I think you should maybe consider this program. I think I've done a lot of marketing programs. I've done a lot of business development programs. I've spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in marketing and SEO. And I think this has been one of the best, investments that I've ever made. I don't say that lightly.
Well, thank you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I got that recorded, right? I got that
Yes,
on
yes, you
recording.
have that. You have that on my recording.
All right, Shanae, I know you led and we opened up with how you serve your clients and how people work with you, but let's just wrap that up again. How do you serve your clients and what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah. So I primarily work with couples who are in sexless marriages or are having significant intimacy and relationship challenges. And I serve them by offering a different approach than most therapists, family therapists, couples counselors, even sex therapists do, which, their approach is like talk based. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to have you read a book. You're going to come in and we're going to talk. And then maybe I'll send you home with homework. But that's not really effective when it comes to intimacy, because for you to be able to really improve your sex life and intimacy, you have to have a felt sense of each other, a very embodied sense of each other. And that's what my work is. It's very experiential, it's very interactive. You get to feel what it's like to be vulnerable with your partner in your body as you're experiencing vulnerability. You get to feel what it's like to build erotic energy in your partner as that's happening. And I think that's one of the reasons that my retreats are like, I have like a 90% success rate, which is very, very high success rate, especially in this area. And the changes that occur like all the time. I just had a couple here last weekend, Angel, who came to me. They were basically in a sexless marriage. They're pretty young. They're in their late 30s.
Hmm.
And by the time they left, things had completely shifted, not only in their physical relationship, but in their ability to be able to talk with each other honestly and authentically about what their experience was and what their feelings were, and to be able to repair some of the past hurts and burdens. And that happens all the time. That is not, oh, that's a once in a year thing. It's like, no, that's pretty much 90% of my couples, that is exactly what happens. And so it's just a very unique experience that I offer. And then I also offer group retreats. I offer a group retreat for women, a sensual awakening retreat once a year. This one is going to be in February in Costa Rica, and a group couples passion in paradise retreat also in Costa Rica once a year as well. So I
Right.
do all of that.
How much fun. How much fun for
Fun.
you to get to see the dramatic shift and change and you're saving relationships, right? And if you can save relationships, you can save the world. And so you
Right.
are definitely, just a gift to humanity. I'm so excited that we found our way to each other. The universe brought us together. Shanae, how do we connect with you? How do we follow up with you?
You can reach me on my website, which is Passionate Intimacy Retreats. That's with an S.com. And then I guess I'll offer this to everybody who listens. I have a free gift as well, which is a free video class on 20 minutes to have better sex. It's like 7 3-minute videos that are very, very helpful tips. And you can find those at howtoimprovemylovelife.com. How to improve mylovelife.com.
I love that. Well, you know somebody who wants to improve their love life. Like we always want to get better, right? How to improve mylovelife.com. Go grab that free gift and then learn more if you or somebody you know needs to have a stronger relationship with their mate. Passionateintimacyretreats.com. Shanae, thanks so much for being with us today. I appreciate you for taking the time out to share your journey with strangers, right? And with the world. But truly what you are doing is incredibly beautiful. And you can see why she's such a popular guest, right? People want to talk about relationships. They want to get better and be closer to the one that they love and that they care about the most. And we have the rock star right here. Shanae,
Oh,
thanks so
thank you.
much.
Thank you, Angel.
All
It's been
right.
fun
All right.
chatting with you.
It's always a great time to chat with you. I love these. I love doing these case study interviews. And so if you've ever thought about leveraging the power of being a podcast guest and what that can do to create more impact and share your story and attract more clients to you, follow us at needaguest.com. Needaguest.com. I'm Angel Tussey. I'll see you on the next time. Bye bye.